here with Annette Bening. Annette, welcome. What does artistic license mean for you?
Well, I guess I'd say what that means is radical inclusion. That's what we need in the arts. We need radical in the sense of thorough and far-reaching inclusion of everybody.
Congressman Liu, what does artistic license mean to you?
It means the freedom to speak truth to power, to do what you believe is right, and to also be able to have the freedom to entertain people or not, to really show what the truth is, and to make people think about society and even reality in a different way.
If you're wondering why there is so much energy in the room, one of the reasons is this amazing artwork that you have surrounding you by artist Ed Moses, who has graced us with the pleasure of his presence tonight. I'd like to welcome you all to our 10th annual Artistic License Awards, which we started here in the gallery to honor the achievements of artists and lawyers and arts organizations and politicians who've really made a contribution to the arts.
CLA is one of the nation's leading art law organizations, providing legal services, alternative dispute resolution, educational programs, and advocacy for the arts community.
This organization and everybody that's part of this organization is a firm believer in the arts and the creative community and supporting that community, and we could not do it without you. So it is with great and deep appreciation that we thank you all.
And I also want to thank all of the people who work as staff for our organization and carry out our programs, and all of the providers who are part of these educational, mediation, and bar referral programs. Thank you, all of you who are here tonight and all the time.
I'm honored to acknowledge and present the award to an organization who not only has done so much for Latino and Chicano art, but also has brought forward and continued to support the idea that a lot of what we do in the arts is related to the communities around us. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating Self-Help Graphics and Art for this esteemed and well-deserved recognition. Accepting the recognition tonight is Self-Help Graphics Associate Director Betty Avila.
We take great pride in the leadership role that Self-Help Graphics plays in supporting the Chicano Latino community, the creative community, which is beyond those who identify as just artists. And with today's political climate, we take this responsibility with great seriousness.
As with every pursuit of passion, to really do it right, it involves often great risk. While the recovery of the stolen Gustav Klimt paintings was not just about righting a personal wrong, it was about taking a stand against the decimation of a culture and seeking recovery and restitution. Currently, Randy has been active in resisting the encroachments of our freedoms, institutions, and the arts under the current administration. Randy, for all you've accomplished in the service of the arts and for the culture, and for all that you continue to give back, I am honored to present you with a California Lawyers for the Arts Artistic License Award.
That was a long time ago. That case ended over 10 years ago, and since then, a lot of people ask me, so how do you become an art lawyer? And I have to say that the best way is to have a really good client. But artists are not like lawyers. Artists make their living pushing the boundaries. They're the ones dreaming up the ideas of how to break through those boundaries. And as we live today in a time where the boundaries are constricting, where there are people in our country who are trying to surround us with more and more restrictive laws, it will be artists who are the first to run into those new boundaries. They will be the ones that are going to be fighting through, and they're going to need us. They're going to need the lawyers to help them get through that. So I want to thank California Lawyers for the Arts, because you will be now, I think, very much on the front lines and very necessary as we move forward. Thank you very much, Phil. Thank you.
I know all of you think Ted is receiving this award for his support for the art. That is actually not correct. Ted is receiving this award because Ted is an artist. Ted has always understood that great art is bottomed in the truth. And he shows us that all the time. But to paraphrase another great artist, we are now engaged in a great experiment to find out whether an administration with so little allegiance to the truth can long endure. As we, all of us, struggle with that experiment for as long as that experiment takes, we are going to need our artists, we are going to need our truth sayers, and we are going to need, most of all, and are very lucky to have, Ted Lieu in Washington.
It's an honor for me to be here and to be able to participate in another of this organization's great and important events. As a lawyer myself who never ever practiced or dabbled in the arts and who doesn't have an artistic bone in his body, it's an honor and a great experience for me to actually be a supporter of and participate in the arts. This moment in time, it is the Teds of the world who are inspiration, who are leading us in a resistance that is so important on so many different touch points that are important to people here in Santa Monica, Los Angeles, California, and really across the country and around the world, whether it's social justice, issues like immigration, healthcare, the list goes on, but it includes an attack on the arts that is unrelenting and will not stop, and we are the ones who must stand up to oppose it. So it's a great honor for me to be here to welcome you, Ted, and along with Michael, present you with this award.
Whether you're looking at an iconic photograph of war, or you read a disturbing piece of poetry, or you watch a Saturday Night Live parody, it does reveal truths to you in a different way, in an emotive, special, unique way. That's why I've always supported art funding both in California as well as now at the federal level. And now that is at risk. Our president would like to get rid of the National Endowment for the Arts. Thank goodness he can't actually do that by himself. Congress controls the power of the purse. And it is now an all-hands-on-deck moment to try to save us.
Four-time Academy Award nominated, multiple Golden Globe nominated and winning actress, star of film and stage, Annette Bening has played many an iconic role. But tonight, we honor her for one of the most important roles any of us can aspire to, citizen. As much as you have transfixed us on many an occasion as a performer, you have endeared us in several other ways. For many of us, it's been your fierce advocacy for the arts and arts education that have bonded us to you. You may know, and all of you have read now, that Annette served as a member of the California Arts Council, and Bill spoke of this, from 2004 to 2008. As a council member, you fought for increased state arts funding and championed arts initiatives for young people across the state. To repeat, and you heard it, but I want to repeat it, her powerful closing, I think it's the right thing, it serves students, it dignifies our teachers, and it will uplift our community. We honor someone tonight that has for many years been doing the right thing, and in doing so, she uplifts our community. Annette Bening.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much to everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the California Lawyers for the Arts. So I'm going to humble brag a little bit. So I was raised in California. I went to California public school from the time I was in second grade through college. So a lot of my arts advocacy is a way of trying to say thank you. I think a lot of us want to say thank you. But the essence of the artistic experience is really hard to put into words. And I think when each of us have had that moment, whether it's reading a novel or whatever that moment is, you feel like something's being whispered to you. It's a secret that you already knew, but you'd never really been able to synthesize it in your own self. I'm very, very grateful to be a part of this and to being among all of you. It takes all of us. It takes arts advocates. It takes artists like Ed Moses. It takes Bill, who has this gorgeous gallery. It takes all of you, lawyers, the educators, to do this together. And I quite frankly am so inspired by this today. We need this right now. This is, for me, nourishment. It's spiritual nourishment in times that are so tough.
We have one more surprise award for a person who's put enormous energy and spent the past 5 years of his life into restoring the credibility and funding for the California Arts Council, Craig Watson. We thank you, and we want to take this special moment to honor you and your work. You have been a great collaborator and friend to California Lawyers for the Arts, and we've had some special moments together on the advocacy trail. In recognition of your outstanding leadership, we'd like to present tonight's final Artistic License Award to you for your dedicated service to the cause.
So here's the deal. The arts is bipartisan. The arts must be bipartisan. And in fact, historically, they've done the research on the National Endowment for the Arts, and actually the NEA has been slightly favored budget-wise under Republican administrations. So this is an anomaly, and we must fight it. And so if you know of influential people who live in Orange County, the Central Valley, the far north, or the high desert, where we know we have Republicans in our state delegation to Congress, those are the folks that we must influence and remind them that the arts is about touching every child, not because they're Republican, not because they're Democrat, because they're human beings, and the arts is what makes us whole as a nation, as a people, and as individuals. So join me in that fight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, our extraordinary honorees today, and our surprise honoree as well. What you do makes such a difference. Your individual expertise and then your willingness to give back of your time and your effort to the communities that we try to serve so well with the California Lawyers for the Arts. Thank you.